So good day everyone, my name is Roy Sicalme Jr. and for this new video, we will tackle about and we will discuss what is the nature of criminology. So actually, criminology in general, we cannot consider it as a science as it is not generally accepted or validated in some of countries. So why we can say it is not validated and also it is not accepted and it is not called science. So perfect example is the differences between the law of the Philippines and the law of Japan. So they have different laws. Every states have different law. So in Japan, they are very strict. They have weird laws that is implemented in the society. So here are some example of the law in Japan that is pretty normal here in Philippines. So driver will be fined for splashing waters to pedestrian. Second one is you cannot take out a trash too early in the morning. So lastly, it is pretty common in the Philippines in which it always happen here in the Philippines. So lastly, it is illegal. So in the Japan, it is illegal to force someone to drink alcohol. Diba? It is pretty common here in the Philippines. So it may sound weird, the law of Japan, but they have logical reason why they did it. They have logical reason why they declare that kind of law. So according to Sutherland and Creasy, the famous criminologists, they define criminology as a body of knowledge in which in regards crime as social phenomenon. And since science is the search and application of knowledge and understanding of natural and social phenomenon by using discipline and evidence-based method. So because of that, criminology is considered as science. And specifically, it is considered as science when it is applied to criminal law. So criminology is an applied science. Why it is an applied science? Because it is applied in the society. So that's my just short explanation. So when studying causes of crimes, so we include the following principle. So we include the principle of anthropology, in which it tackles about the study of the origin, the study of the history of a person who commit crime. Talking about psychology, it talks about the behavior of a person. And talking about sociology as a principle in the criminology, it talks and it's specified on the society in which what is the motivation or what is the environmental factors that might influence a person who to commit crime, and other natural sciences that may apply to this kind of field in criminology. So in determining the causes of crimes, we also have this following principle in which to analyze and to determine a crime. So first one is chemistry. So example of chemistry is analyzing DNA or blood detection when talks about the crime scene. Second one is medicine. So in medicine, we are determining whether the person who commit crime is motivated by taking drugs. So they are changed by consuming drugs, just like marijuana or illegal drugs. So the third one, it includes the principle of physics. So what does physics mean? It talks about the natural or the nature of movements. So the perfect example of this is the movement of punch. So it is very basic. And lastly, the trajectory of a bullet. So the next one, we also include the principle of mathematics, in which it includes computation and other analytic computation that specifically includes numbers. The next one, we also includes the principle of ballistics, in which to determine what firearm does the criminal use in committing the crime. So the next one is polygraphy. Well, in talking about polygraphy, it simply means to determine the response of an individual to a certain question. It generally analyzes its heart rate, it analyzes its blood pressure, sweat, and so on. So the instrument that have been used in this kind of field is lie detector, and also the perfect example is lie detector, in which a criminology will detect, will analyze the response of an individual to a certain question. So the next one, we also includes the principle of legal medicine. So legal medicine, it deals with the medical knowledge. So the knowledge of having medical experience. So it is the knowledge on medical to legal problems and legal proceeding, especially in crime scene that includes medicine. So I think it is last. So question, document examination. So simply means the question document examination simply means to analyze a handwritten documents or letters or something like that, or diary and so on, and to determine the author of it. So in short, it is analyzing the handwritten of a letter of a document and to analyze who is the author is. So it is also called as instrumentation. So criminology is also considered as social science, since it is the study of social phenomenon in which we tackle about, we study about, and we want to figure it out why crime is exists in the society. So we are also called as the society scientist, as what Sir Jomar says. So according to what I said on the last minute ago, according to these two famous criminologists, as a criminology, we are studying crime as social phenomenon. So without the society, there is no crime. So in short, crime is created in the society. So that's why we study the society, why crime is existed, what are the environmental factors that might influence, motivate a person to commit crime. So that's why it is considered as social science, the criminology. So criminology also is dynamic. Talking about dynamic, as the society evolves, the crime also changes every time, and also the criminology also change from time to time. So it is a tongue twisting, or it is a tongue twister, but in short, as the society evolves, also the crime or the techniques of the criminal to commit crime is also evolving, and also criminology also evolved. so that the criminology can solve, can determine the changes of criminal techniques, so that they can determine the new criminal techniques in this new evolved society. So let me give you a example, an example. So cybercrime. So do you know, or does cybercrime existed in the past? So actually not. Cybercrime is actually exist in just this time, in which the society evolves from time to time, and there is new innovation, there is new technologies that have been invented. So cybercrime is the new one method on how the criminal commit crimes. So the criminology must know new techniques, must study new methods on how to catch crime in this new evolved society. So criminology is a nationalistic. So it is very easy to know, or it is sabotable. So why it is nationalistic? So criminology focuses on the law of the state, and every state, they have different law, they have different definition of law. On what I said on the example, the law of the Japan and the differences between the law of the Philippines, in which there is a huge difference between their definition of law or definition of crime. So next, when can we determine that crime exists? So there are two point of view. The first one is legal point of view, and second is scientific point of view. So let's tackle it out one by one. So talking about legal point of view, it is a person is so we can determine crime if a person is proven guilty by a court. According to Universal Declaration of Rights, specifically in Article 11, according to Google, as I search, everyone charged with penal offense has the right to presume innocence until proven guilty to the public law trial. So the differences, or the difference between the scientific point of view, is we can determine that crime exists when it is reported. So perfect example of this is a person tend to kidnap a child, and someone notices it, and the person who noticed of a person who tend to kidnap a child report it to the police. So police quickly take an action. So what basically means, or what is the main purpose of that point of view, the scientific, is to prevent the crime to happen, or it is the prevention of crime, to prevent crime from happening. What are the differences between crime, sin, and morality? So crime, it is violated of the law of the state, while sin is violated to the divine law, or the 10 commandments. And immorality or morality is violated by the norms, or a person who violated the norms by doing things that are wrong in the eyes of the people. So crime is conviction and being jailed during lifetime of a person. While being sinned, you will face judgment in the afterlife. So you will go to hell or something like that. So lastly, talking about immorality or morality, you will be judged by the people around you. So crime, it is a written law of state. So sin, it is a written law, or it is a written divine law in the Bible or the 10 commandments. But the norm or the morality, it is unwritten norms in the community in which they believe in on they should follow a certain behavior. So crime is nationalistic, where in the country you have the same law that needs to be followed. Immorality is regionalistic. It depends on the environment you are in. So why is that the society is interested in crime, where also it is a hot topic in the news every time? So why? So the first one is crime is pervasive. So what does it mean? In which crime is pervasive, in which everyone is affected, or some of the people experience this kind of social phenomenon, and also they are a victim of crime. So crime is expensive. So for their little explanation, it simply means the higher the crime is, the higher you need to recruit private guards, securities, and you might apply CCTV camera at your house so that you will be secured. The next one is crime is destructive. So what does it mean? While experiencing crime, sometimes they disturb, or the criminal disturb properties, and they tend to destroy our information. They want to destroy our private properties, and some people lost their lives in experiencing this kind of phenomenon. So talking about crime is also a reflective. So the higher the crime rate, it is must to have higher defense also. So recruiting private guards as the same as what I was explaining in the last time, recruiting private guards and social defender to look out for one state. So lastly, I think this is the last. So crime is progressive. So why it is progressive? So as the population grows, from time to time, the crime also increases. So that's all for today. That is the nature of criminology, in which it tackles about the study of crime as social phenomenon. So I am Roy Calmi Jr. and thank you for watching this video, this discussion. I hope you like it, and goodbye.